The title. The title of this video should be the 3 amateur mistakes that Jason made this weekend on stage. And seriously guys, had you been here to see this, you would be thinking that, man, Jason dude, this must be like your first time playing guitar in front of people. Actually, you're gonna see it because I'm gonna share some really interesting footage with you, and you're gonna get to see where I screwed up. Now make sure you hang around to the end of the video. I actually want your opinion on something. I'm gonna elaborate on a few things, and I want to hear your opinion on a particular topic. So I'm gonna share that after we go over these 3 mistakes that Jason made. Mistake number 1, here it is. This is a mistake that really no guitarist, no seasoned professional guitarist should ever make. By the way, the amp was actually on, but I had the standby switch on, and that's because, well, you know what, I'll tell you all about why at the end of the video, because again, I want to talk to you about something else and get your opinion. So I started playing and I was ready to get that melodic riff in there and nothing was coming out. By the way, that song is Redemption. Most of you know that. That's track 1 off my very first album, Apocalyptic Dreams. I was playing along with the backing tracks that I made from my studio here. But yeah, I go to hit those notes. I was like, what is going on here? I quickly checked my volume. Okay, that's fine. The guitar volume's there. I look over at the amp, the red light's on, and it took me a couple seconds to realize that, crap, I never took the amp off standby, so.
Guys, I've been playing music for over 30 years, but you'd think I just started yesterday. My amplifier was not on. We're on now. Can we do that one more time?
So the sound man restarted the track for me. Thank you, by the way, if you happen to be watching this. And, you know, we went right along. The show always must go on. And here's just a short clip of a part that went right. Mistake number 1, make sure your amp is on and make sure it's not on standby. Kind of a basic, simple, I can't believe this happened to me. Mistake number 2, and this is kind of an amateur mistake as well. Yeah, I almost tripped over my own freaking guitar cable. That is not cool. Actually, you probably heard that little note that was slightly off as soon as you saw me almost trip. We'll run that again. Now, there are a few extremely simple solutions to not tripping over your own guitar cable. One of those solutions, probably the most obvious, is just get a wireless system. Now, of course, you know, I bought a wireless system. But what happened? Well, a lot of you caught my live unboxing failure the week or a few days before doing this show. I bought the wrong wireless system. I bought something that was for passive pickups only, not active pickups. By the way, I'll have a live unboxing with the correct wireless system probably in a few days from now. The other thing you can do is just kind of map out the area on stage where you plan to walk around on if you're going to be moving around a lot like I was attempting to do, and just make sure you've got the cable in an appropriate place so that you can do that. My issue here is I'm used to singing and playing at the same time when I'm on stage. And this time I was only playing guitar. I was playing along with my backing tracks, just playing solo guitar, kind of like Joe Satriani style here. So I really should have made sure I had the wireless going at that point. But you know, that's just one thing to think about. Kind of map out the area. Make sure your cable's in the appropriate spot if you want to move around a little bit. Now, the thing I did do right is I had my cable wrapped in my strap, wrapped around in my guitar strap. Had I not had that done, when I almost went forward, fell forward, the cable probably would have come out and come unplugged. Mistake number 3 that guitar players can make when playing on stage, and this is kind of another amateur mistake, is having a lot of feedback coming from your amp. I was getting a tremendous amount of feedback when I stopped playing my guitar. Now, of course, there are several reasons for this. One, I'm playing through a high gain amp and I've got the high gain channel on that high gain amp. I'm using my EVH 5153, the EL34 50 watt head, and I had the gain cranked up quite a bit because the volume on the amp was actually kind of low. The guy didn't really want my volume up too loud because, of course, we were miking the amp and he was trying to keep the show semi-low key, which is sort of difficult to do with heavy metal, but that's a completely different story altogether. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about the particular show in a second here. But that, combined with having active pickups like EMGs that are pretty hot, that, of course, can cause some extra feedback to happen in between those notes. Another thing I probably could have done is I could have turned my amp away from me because I was standing right in front of the amp, and I didn't take that into consideration when I was setting everything up. There were other artists that were playing on stage as well that I had to share that with, but I don't like to make excuses. It's my fault. I should have set my amp up appropriately where it was facing a little bit away from me. I also have an amp stand that actually tilts my amp a little bit. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but I could have used that as well, and that probably would have helped with the feedback issue. But as it was, in between guitar parts, if I stopped playing, I would get feedback unless I cut my volume down real fast. And what that resulted in was me shredding a lot more than I would have liked. I don't like to be that guitar player that just shreds every single note. I really like to throw in those melodies, and as you know, the song I was playing, Redemption, you know, that song's got some melodic parts to that, and I really wasn't able to fulfill those parts like I wanted to. I didn't feel like I could ever back off a little bit because I would start getting feedback, and I don't even know if the people out in the audience would have been able to hear it or tell what it was. They may think it's some effect. You know, you gotta think, us guitar players, we're kind of nitpicky about everything, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but half the time the audience, they don't know and they could really care less. But anyway, you know, we as guitar players, we're artists, we're musicians, you know, we want to make sure that our craft is being portrayed in the appropriate manner, just like we wrote it to be, right? So yeah, that's the 3 amateur mistakes that Jason made this weekend at the same show. Man, this was not my day, but actually I had a fun time playing at the show. I always have a fun time anytime I get to play out anywhere. I know some of you play out as well, and you get it. It's like, man, you've got to be out there. And after this past year that we had, it's like, wow, you know, okay, you're just itching to get out there and play anything, anywhere. So I want to tell you just real quick a little bit about the show, then I have a question that I really want your opinion on. So the event that I played at this weekend is called the Strawberry Festival, and it's an annual event, a pretty huge annual event that they have in a town called Plant City. It's about 20 minutes or so away from where my wife and I live. The Strawberry Festival normally has some pretty big like country and gospel and R&B acts and stuff like that each year, but they didn't have any of those acts this year. So my buddy Mike, who owns Dark Horse Music in Plant City, real cool guy, he's doing a tremendous amount of awesome things in the community of Plant City for musicians, with the music store and with the little eatery and music hall that he owns called The Industry. You guys may have caught me playing there live about a month or so ago. I think I put that out there on Instagram and Facebook. He decided to host kind of like a talent show, I guess, to have some live music at this event, the Strawberry Festival. So this particular event that I played at was a multi-genre event. The majority of the artists there were kind of in the country or southern style-ish, or it was like hip-hop, rap, R&B, that kind of thing. And I actually played another multi-genre event back in October of 2020 at the Orpheum in Ybor City. And you guys may have caught that video. I'll throw a link up there if you want to catch that. That was also multi-genre. And I think I was the only like hard rock heavy metal artist there as well, which again, that's fine. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do these multi-genre events anymore. And I've had quite a few promotional companies reach out to me over the past several months for these multi-genre type gigs, and I've actually turned them down. This recent gig I did at the Strawberry Festival, that was a little bit different, so I decided to play that. But it seems like there's a lot of promoters out there that want to get local artists together And it's just multi-genre though. And my feeling on this is that when you go see an artist or a band, even if it's like a local artist that you're supporting, you're probably coming to see that artist play that specific style of music. You probably don't want to have to filter through all the other stuff that you really don't like. I do like other genres. I love 80s pop music, for example. So how do you guys feel about that? I want to know in the comments, how do you feel about these multi-genre things, these promoters trying to just lump all these different genres together for one show? What are your thoughts? Please leave those in the comments. I promise I will read them. I may not be able to respond to every single one because the channel is growing here, but I will at least read it and I'll at least give you a like on the comment so that you know that I read it. But I really want to know what your thoughts are on this. It seems to be like the trend now with people trying to lump these local artists into these multi-genre shows. I've kind of decided that I don't want to do that anymore, you know? If it's like a rock and roll show or a heavy metal show, yeah, okay, I'm in, that's my genre. Or if it's a guitar-based show, right? I'm in that genre as well. Even if they're playing like blues and jazz and they've got some rock and metal, I think that most guitar players will, even if they don't care for some of the other guitar styles, they can still appreciate it and at least sit through it and stomach it until they get to their genre, their preferred genre of playing guitar. But when you lump these other genres in, it's just, I don't know, it just kind of gets weird to me. And again, I told myself and I told my wife, I'm like, you know, we're not gonna do this multi-genre stuff anymore. It's, you know, it's either gotta be just me playing a show or I'm happy opening for someone. But I at least want our genres to align so that we've got the appropriate audience out there ready to support us, right? You know, if I'm opening for a metal band, then that metal band's audience, there's a good chance they're gonna like my stuff. But if I'm playing at an event where there's just all these different genres that really have nothing to do with one another, it's really going to be hard to maintain an audience for that entire show. It's almost impossible to do that, you know, and I saw it, especially when I played at the Orpheum a few months ago. I saw it, you know, I had some people come see me. After they saw me, they're out because they don't really care to listen to the other stuff. And the same thing happened with the other artists too. You know, we stuck around for a little bit and I saw some other people play, but you know, again, it was some rap, some hip hop, some country, blah, blah, blah. And I would see people, as soon as they saw the person they came for, they're out. They don't really care to stick around for someone like me, for example. I'm okay with that. I am okay that people that like other genres outside of the metal genre don't care to listen to my music. I am absolutely okay with that. I think we have to get back to the point where it's okay to disagree. It's okay to not like something. And I could go down a huge rabbit trail with that one, and we're not going to go there. But I would love to know your thoughts. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Or do you think that I should just, you know, play these shows? I mean, I think, of course, the answer is going to be, well, Jason, play what you want. If you don't want to play them, don't play them. But again, I really want to know your thoughts. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Give me your deep thoughts. I want to know what those are. Guys, also, don't forget, I am giving away a free practice guide. Most of you have that. If you do not have that, there's a link in the description, and there are other links in there as well where you can support me, my music. The next video I put out, it will be a guitar lesson. It'll be a metal guitar lesson. I haven't done one of those in the past couple of videos, so there will be one of those coming out soon as well. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Please give this a thumbs up and keep it metal.